Imagine being out in the freezing Russian wilderness, far from help, only to find footprints leading away from a torn tent, bodies scattered in the snow, and no answers. What drove 9 experienced hikers to flee their shelter in the middle of a frigid night, half-dressed, only to meet their strange and unexplained end? Tonight, we explore one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries in history. Welcome to Echoes in the Dark. In late January 1959, a group of 9 hikers, mostly university students and graduates, set out to explore the frozen Ural mountains of Russia. Led by an experienced outdoorsman, Igor Dyatlov, the group had trained for this journey and were well prepared for the severe winter conditions. They intended to reach a summit known as Otorten, but fate would have other plans. They were last seen alive on February 1st when they set up camp on a snow-covered slope near an area that local Mansi tribespeople called Dead Mountain. When the hikers failed to return on schedule, friends and family sounded the alarm, prompting a search party to brave the cold and rugged terrain in hopes of finding them. What they found was nothing short of terrifying. Their tent was discovered first, partially buried in snow, and strangely, it had been slashed open from the inside. The rescuers found footprints leading away from the tent toward the edge of the nearby woods, but the scene only grew stranger from there. Some of the hikers' bodies were discovered partially undressed, as if they'd fled in a panic without grabbing their winter gear or boots. As rescuers investigated further, they found 5 of the hikers' bodies spread across the landscape in different locations, and the remaining 4 several months later under thick snow, deeper in the forest. The initial autopsies indicated hypothermia as the cause of death, yet certain details couldn't be explained. 2 bodies showed severe chest fractures similar to what you'd see in a car accident, with such brutal force that some investigators compared it to being hit by a car. Another body was found missing its tongue, and perhaps the most unsettling part, no external injuries were visible to explain the trauma. In a twist, traces of radiation were found on some of their clothing, further adding to the mystery. Theories flooded in. Some speculated an avalanche, which could explain why the hikers abandoned their tents so hastily. Others believed it could have been a sudden confrontation with local wildlife or even something more sinister, like a military test gone wrong. Eyewitnesses reported strange lights in the sky on the night of the incident, fueling theories of secret weapon testing or even UFO activity. In the end, Soviet authorities classified the deaths as the result of an unknown compelling force, closing the case without definitive answers. So what happened to Igor Dyatlov and his friends? Theories have continued to swirl over the years, yet none fully account for the bizarre details. Could it have been an avalanche that forced them out of their tent, or were they witnesses to something they shouldn't have seen, perhaps a military experiment gone wrong? Some even suggest a supernatural explanation, that they disturbed something ancient in those mountains. Decades later, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most haunting unsolved cases in history, and while experts continue to debate, the truth seems buried under layers of snow and secrecy. One thing is certain: this story serves as a chilling reminder of the unknowns that still lurk in the darkest, coldest corners of the earth.